Today what we're really going to focus on is gathering lots of information out of the book resources that we have available here in the classroom. So just as a reminder of what we've already accomplished, we made our brainstorming worksheets. We'll go back and reference that quite a bit today. And we've set up our Noodle Tools and made our first source, as well as tinkered with making our first note card. And we're going to go back in and take a quick look at that today as well. So something to be mindful of as we're completing our research here over the next few days is that I am going to request that you only utilize the books that are available to you off of the cart here in the classroom. There are a lot of reasons why I do that. Number one, it's kind of old school, forces you to go back to the basics and really work with books. And number two, the books possess a lot of really manageable amounts of information. As soon as we start doing web searches and using databases, we're going to discover that there's more information than we possibly can deal with or even want to sift through to get the answers to the questions that we still have. So when we're using those books, there are a couple of tips and hints I can give you to help you kind of know where to look in the book to just mine out the information or kind of extract the information that you need that's going to help you answer those questions you created in your brainstorming worksheet. First place you want to look is in the front of the book at the table of contents. Oftentimes you'll discover that the chapter title for the book in the books is exactly what you're looking for. So it may say something like the history of the self-driving car, and I'd want to go right to that chapter and read that information. The other place you're going to want to look is in the back of the book. Almost all of these books are reference books, and the backs of them will include things like an index or a glossary of terms, and it will point you to exactly the right page you want to go to. So you may look in the back and it may say something like Google self-driving car, pages 49 through 53. So I want to open up my book and go straight to those pages to gather the information that I'm going to be needing for my note cards and ultimately for my paper. So something to be aware of again is that I will request that you not do any online research right now, and you are going to stick with the books that are here in the classroom probably right up until Monday in this process. So other tips that I can give you: don't just look for books with your topic in the title. So if your topic is nuclear power, don't just look for books that say nuclear power. You want to kind of expand your search options there a little bit. So I've given you some ideas. Those of you guys with anything in the medical fields, cloning, stem cells, organ transplants, genetic engineering, even the vaccinations and antibiotics, you want to look for books that have anything to do with medicine. You also want to look into those books that have anything to do with something called bioethics. It's going to talk about the morality and some of the challenges with some of these medical advances that have been created. There should be plenty of them to work with. And again, you're seated by group, so share the resources among your group too, please. Anybody doing any of kind of our green topics, right? Topics like recycling, solar power, hybrid and solar cars, green buildings, nuclear power could even go in here. You want to tap into any of those books that are about the environment or biofuels or solar or clean energy. So again, be willing to share resources, be willing to use books that maybe don't have your topic in the title, but I think you'll discover that there are some great pieces of information in a variety of books. Also, finally, the video game, internet, robotics, virtual reality crowd. You guys are going to find that you have a lot of overlapping resources as well. So when you find something that you think could help somebody else, your tables are pretty close together. Share that information with those people doing that kind of research. And finally today, before we go back in and dig into the Noodle Tools webpage, I want to remind you about that ISBN number that's going to be so important for creating your source information on your reference sheet in Noodle Tools. So what I have here is a copy of a copyright page that came right out of a book. And if I dig into this copyright page, there's a lot of information I don't really care about. Okay, I know that the book was published in 2007, but what I'm really looking for is this ISBN number. Again, it might say ISBN 10, it may say ISBN 13. It really doesn't matter which of those you actually use. What matters is that when you enter the ISBN number into your Noodle Tools source sheet to do the quick cite, that you enter it without any dashes. So you've got to copy that number, directly into the quick site link. I'll go back and show you that here in a minute, and make sure that you're not putting any dashes into that number. Now we're ready to jump into Noodle Tools and to get ourselves started again. I'll remind you that that web address is just noodletools.com. You go over here and click login. And for most of you guys, you've already registered, so you're going to have to enter your username. It's again first.lastname at northport.k12.ny.us. Your password is your first initial and the last four of your student ID. Mine's a little bit different, but once you go and log in, you now are going to be on their main kind of homepage or dashboard. You will see here that my 8th grade English research paper project is here. So I go and click on that, and I can see kind of what I accomplished yesterday once I go dig into my sources page. So these are the sources that I had entered during classes yesterday. I've got 3 of them there. Most of you just have 1. So I go into my note cards, and I'll see that I have a couple of note cards floating around. They're a little bit wonky here over on the side, so I've got to pull them back down. I was tinkering with these note cards yesterday, starting to pile them up a little bit. But again, when I put my mouse over the note cards, I can see that what the content of that note card is. So this is a note card about how the Google self-driving car works. If I want to open up that note card, I just double click on it, and I'm back to where I was yesterday in creating the note cards. So one of the things I had done yesterday is I'd started to pile note cards together, note cards that were on similar topics. So if I go and put my cursor here and just click on it, I can see that now I have in this pile some background information, some note cards that kind of go together. This is an advanced option within the Noodle Tools note cards. I'm not so sure that you need to spend time on this today, but if you're somebody that likes to tinker with it, you can go ahead and click in here and manage your pile. You can create new piles. These might be technology piles, and I may want to put some note cards that belong under this technology link into this pile. So different ways to organize your note cards. Okay, so now I'm ready to start doing some more expanded research than the really basic stuff that we did yesterday. So I'm going to go back into my brainstorming page. One of the things I'm really curious about is how much are these self-driving cars going to cost? So I'm going to go try and find that information. So again, because the technology that I'm pursuing is so new, I don't have any books, but I did a quick internet search, and I came up with this pretty cool article. I just did an internet search back here on Google driverless car costs. I came up with this article from the Washington Post, a pretty reputable newspaper, and it gives me 15 things I need to know. So I'm going to start cruising through this article a little bit. Excuse the ads that are blasting up here. I'm going to start looking through this article, and the first thing I come across, which is really cool, is how much will they cost. So right there I know that I've got some information I can use in my actual research paper. So I'm going to go back to Noodle Tools. I'm going to go into sources. Now in this source, because I'm using an online database, I need to create a new source. I'm going to get it from a website. It asks me what kind of website this is, which is a great question, because if I stop and think for a moment, I know that this WashingtonPost.com is an actual newspaper. So I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to select newspaper. Now it's going to bring me to the entry information. So it is not a print newspaper, it is a website of a newspaper. So the easiest thing I can do is come over here, cut and paste my URL address, come over here and drop it in. It's going to ask me when I accessed it, that is today, and the name of the container website. Oh, it gives me some ideas here on what I would want to put, but I want to put Washington Post is probably fine. Okay, so let's see what happens when I hit submit. The name of the newspaper is required, excuse me. Okay, I think it will hopefully do all the publication information for me once I hit submit. That's down at the bottom of my page. I'm not sure you guys are seeing it. There we go. There is the link and the information for this source, and it tells me when I accessed it. So this is the source I want to use as I create my new note card. I'm going to go create a new one, And the title of this note card is How Much Does the Self-Driving Car Cost? Okay, remember, I've got quite a few sources to dig through here, so I want to make sure I'm picking the right one. I've got it right here. I'm going back to this source, and I'm going to say right now the technology alone adds $700,000 to $100,000 to the cost of a vehicle. That's pretty darn crazy. So, but there's some information about how the cost may fall in future years. So I'm going to cut and paste this. Again, I cut and pasted it. It's word for word, meaning it is a direct quote. So I want to put it into this direct quotation portion of the note card. In my own words, I may want to just kind of explain some of the things I'm finding, but essentially what this is saying is that as these cars become more popular, the price will drop a lot. Okay? Nothing brilliant is being said there, but again, I'm paraphrasing this while it's really fresh in my mind. I may discover when I go to actually write the paper that these are the types of information, pieces of information that I end up using a lot. I don't really have a whole lot of original thinking here, but I'm going to go ahead and save and close this card. And again, it's kind of piling them up over here, so I may want to pull it out of there and try to make my pile look a little bit more organized. How much does it cost? Here's that card I just made. I still have the how does it work card. I have how long has it been around. So I'm starting to gather quite a bit of good information that I'm going to be using in my actual research paper. So again, before I let you guys go today, I'm going to remind you for every news source, you need to take the time to create that citation. And again, you are going to be using this print or in hand tab today because I'm asking you to please use book sources. And the two options you're probably going to be choosing are the reference source or the book source. Once you've got that source, you can go ahead and go in and make the actual note card, and you choose the source that you are working with from the drop-down menu. As of now, you may only have one or two here, but as we continue with our research, we'll end up with 3, 4, 5, 6 of these types of things. So slow down, do it right, use the tools at your disposal, and I think you'll discover that you're going to start getting pretty savvy with completing this research. Good luck today, everybody.